Welcome back to Well this morning, ladies and gentlemen, on a very pleasant and informative morning, like every other morning here at PTV World as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, earlier, if you were watching the first segment as well, I think we really, spoke about how maybe you can find out some healthy activities to take your mind off the COVID-19 as well, and some of all the reasons that are adding to the stress and anxiety of COVID-19, the pandemic itself, the lockdown, quarantine, everything going on as well, self-isolation too, which a lot of people are actually having trouble doing. But here's the thing, creative people actually found out ways to stay busy, to stay focused, to nurture their mind and direct their mind in a way where negativity cannot reach to them. I'm talking about the people who are, again, artists who have something really passionate, to live by as well. I have someone very similar, someone very apt to talk about right here in the studios. But about the introduction, I think, mashallah, he has so much to his name as well. Every one of you watching right now may know him as a very famous classical dancer, Khattak dancer here in Pakistan. More than 8 types of dances that he even knows. Can you guys believe I didn't even know the names of those dances? He's absolutely talented, and he is right here with me in the studio. He's none other than Mr. Khanzada Asfandyar Khattak. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Well this morning.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much for inviting me.
All right, so Asfandyar, to begin with, Khanzada Asfandyar Khattak sounds like a very familiar name. Tell me about your lineage, first of all.
Right. So I'm basically 11th generation of Khushal Khan Khattak, the national poet of Afghanistan and a very famous Pashto poet, freedom fighter. So he was a poet himself.
Yes.
So he was an artist himself. So the art is, being
flowing
inherited.
In the veins.
Yes, yes.
That is brilliant. But now I want this to be a profile interview because, of course, I've read about him. There's so many just articles about praising his work and everything. I want to take you back to where it all started, Asfandyar. Since you mentioned, there was a poet in your family as well. Were there classical dancers in your family who inspired you, probably?
No, actually there were no classical dances, but as you know that Khattak dance is the national dance of Pakistan as well.
Yeah.
Atan is the national dance of Afghanistan.
Okay.
So, this why is Khattak dance only so famous? Why not other Atans or other Pashtun dances of Wazirs, Masoods or Quetta?
Yeah.
That's because, Khattak was the first tribe to establish itself in its own area.
Okay.
It had its own courts, so the Akoda Khattak, Sarai Akoda Khattak was established in 1540s by great-grandfather of Khushal Khan Khattak, and since that time proper courts were there of the Khattak tribe, and when there are proper courts there is art which flourishes as well, and also Khattak is the tribe which has fought all its neighboring tribes.
Right.
So when there were fights, they were they were happy, but when there were no tribes, they used to have this Khattak dance as a martial dance because it was done with swords. It is still done with swords.
Right, right.
And in the south, in Kohat, we had our own state of Teri, which was the first Nawabi amongst Pashtuns as well.
Okay.
So all these Khans and Nawabs and chiefs, they used to patronize Khattak dance.
Right, that's brilliant. Of course, we have heard about it in history books as well, literature as well, seen some videos of it. But to actually learn it from someone who's actually coming from that lineage as well, it's really interesting. But now, Asfandyar, let me know about the 9-year-old, or let's say the 12-year-old Asfandyar. Was he thinking to be an engineer in the future, to be a doctor in the future, or like even at that time you wanted to be a dancer?
I always wanted to be a dancer, since my very
nice.
childhood, I had been dancing. And if I may say that, even when I couldn't even talk, I used to dance. And,
Nice.
Always, during engagements, during weddings. And in 2001, I started learning proper Kathak in Islamabad.
Brilliant.
From Saima Khushnood ji. And her father had actually taught the film actress Reema.
Brilliant.
And
you must be so proud of that.
Yes, I am, definitely. So so in 2001 I started learning Kathak, and in 2007 I was very lucky to become a student of Madam Indu Mithaji, who is 90 years old.
Yes, of course.
And then I started learning
legend,
South
mashallah.
Indian classical dance, Bharatnatyam from her. She is a legend, and we simply adore her, all of us, because I have learnt everything from her.
Oh, that's really nice. But now, Asfandyar, a lot of people who don't have inborn or natural talents like me. I don't know how to play an instrument. I don't know how to, let's say, sing or even dance. So we have to look for creative ways for catharsis even, or to even cope with depression. If I'm having a bad day, if I'm going through something really rough, I'll have to look for the perfect movie to probably let it all out. But mashallah, you're blessed. So how was it for you to actually have something, a passion, a hobby, and then that to be your profession as well? It must be so exciting.
I'm very, very excited about this turn in my life, that everything is coming true, because not everybody is that lucky that whatever they want to do, that they also accomplish it. So you were talking about depression and about all the negative energies. Maulana Rumi has said that everything is dancing, every particle in the world is dancing. Some are dancing in sorrow and some are dancing in happiness.
Oh wow!
So
Beautiful.
I would go for the particles which dance in happiness. Beautiful. And by the way, Maulana Rumi was also born in Balkh in the present day Afghanistan.
Okay.
And in 13th century he migrated to present day Turkey. So this Sufi whirling dervish dance evolved because he traveled from here, and he in his childhood had learned Atan.
Okay.
And Atan is also done in a similar way, and later on this Sufi Darwish dance evolved because Atan is also done with our left foot grounded. The left foot, which is the connection with the heart, that is made a pivot, and we whirl on with our right foot.
That's
so
beautiful.
this Sufi Darwish dance was also it has got a strong connection from present day Afghanistan, and of course we inherited through our Atan as well. So this was as catharsis. And as and when people became urbanized, as and when people became educated and they started working in the cities, they stopped doing whatever they had been doing in their rural lives.
Oh, this is one of the pictures. Can you let me know what is happening over here? This is
the Sufi Darwish whirling dance, and you can see the similarities. I mean, look at my dress.
Oh yeah, almost similar, right?
So this was the traditional dress for the males. It's still worn in parts of Balochistan and in Afghanistan as well.
Okay.
But with time, everything changes. Now only the females wear such kind of baggy shirts and dresses with embroidery, but only in the rural areas. In the modern cities like Peshawar and in Kabul, you will see women wearing different sort of dresses, the normal new era fashionable dresses.
Of course.
But
but the culture remains, right?
The culture
and it does run in the blood as well, because when you talk about festivities, you guys would resort back to these dresses as well.
Definitely.
But now Asfandyar, mashallah, just by the way, let me mention over here, he's been to so many different countries in the world like Malaysia and so many other, representing Pakistan and sort of showcasing the entire immense talent that he has. But Asfandyar, early in the morning I was going through, of course I googled you to read out some articles, and there was a very interesting headline. This was recently, probably last month or last week, which said Asfandyar or Khanzada dances his way through COVID-19. Did you have a performance through that? Do you have a certain mechanism or a pattern which is helping you to fight through COVID-19?
Actually, when this lockdown started, I had many performances planned at this Sheesh Mahal in Lahore with Madam Nigatji, and but then things were delayed and cancelled because of COVID-19, unfortunately. But for a dancer, for an artist, the dance can't be stopped.
Of course.
The art can't be stopped. So I danced on a Pashto song which was sung by Harun Bacha, the famous Pashto singer, and it was regarding awareness and prevention of corona.
Okay.
So I danced on it in my own drawing room at my home in Islamabad, and so that became viral. And then later on I started teaching online. I started...
I wanted to get to that, of course. Let me just make it into a question and then I'll get to you as well, because this was really interesting. Asfandyar, it's really amazing for me to meet people who live by their passion. And it's so rare. I mean, a lot of people, including me probably, they will spend their entire lives finding their true passion. And then there are lucky people like you who know what it is. So here's the thing. Even when the lockdown was going on, he did not stop for a while. When, of course, the gigs or the shows were sort of on a halt because of the lockdown, people were not coming out, then you resorted to, like we say, modern problems required modern solutions. So what you did was taking online classes. How were people responding to it? And generally speaking, are Pakistanis or the new generation open to the idea of learning dances?
First, I'll answer your first part of question. I've started giving classes on pomegranate garden dance, which is an online platform to learn dance, and it's basically Central Asian dances.
Okay.
And as Afghanistan also lies in Central Asia, so again, I'm the lucky one that, you know, I am able to teach dance with the Persians and with the Tajiks and Uzbeks.
Wow.
And, you know, these are people who have been running their academy since 20 or 30 long years. And some of them are foreigners, like, you know, people from Poland and from Germany, and non-Central Asian people who have learned our languages like Persian and Uzbek. And, you know, they are teaching our dances and also, you know, working on the ethnology. So the amazing people, lovely people, and I'm also one of the dancers who teaches dance over there.
Okay,
so,
that's nice. And just to mention over here, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, are you the only well-trained male dancer in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and also Afghanistan?
Yes, I'm the only one who has learnt classical dance, Kathak and Bharatnatyam, and the only one who actually performs, you know, anywhere and everywhere, because I have this philosophy that, one should dance everywhere and anywhere. You know, one should not limit oneself to a stage or to a proper function, because, you know, that kills the, the basic, spirit of dance.
Right, absolutely. And then you should try to resonate with the rhythm of the entire universe as well. That is, yes, brilliant. Asfandyar, can you let me know, or can you name some of the types of dances that you do know? And maybe it's going to be a hard question, but can you really put a finger on your favorite one?
So, talking about classical dance, I've learned the North Indian classical dance, which is Kathak, and the South Indian classical dance called Bharatnatyam.
Yeah.
And then being a Khattak, being Afghan Pathan, I know the Khattak dance and the Athan, which is the Afghan national dance.
Yes, please go on.
And then there's Logari, which is from a Logar province of Afghanistan. It's beautiful music, and mostly I, do a fusion of Khattak and Kathak on Logari music.
Wow, that's brilliant. Now here we have a picture from, I want to say, the ruling ancestors of course, the subcontinent as well, in Afghanistan too.
Yes.
Do you have something to say about this?
Yes, because, Khushal Khan Khattak, he fought against the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb Alamgir, and he fought for the rights of Afghans, for the rights of Pashtuns, and he used his sword and his pen, his poetry, to fight for the rights. And I, in his 11th generation, in 21st century, I'm using my ghungru, my sword, and my rumal, the handkerchief, to fight against the hatred and all the negative energies, because, in our fight, in our daily life, we are also fighting with the negative energies.
Of course.
So, it's a struggle, and dance is also a struggle.
To cope up with that all sort of negative energies. Thank you so much for saying that, and thank you so much for being here, Asfandyar. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to let you go like that, because it was really exciting for me to have him over here. Thus, I'm going to make sure that he performs for us. Is that going to be the Corona dance that you invented? Can I say that?
Yes, I invented it, and it's also because, people are a bit depressed as well of Corona. So I've chosen an upbeat music in which there's going to be fight with the swords, with all the negative energies, and, let's dance with all the positivity.
Brilliant. Just killing away the negative vibes, and I just cannot wait to watch that. Ladies and gentlemen, just after this very short break, you can watch him live dance in front of you as well. But here's the thing, if you need to ask us anything, if you need to give us feedback about anything, write us on our Facebook page with the name of World This Morning. You can write to us on Twitter with the name of World This Morning without a G, on YouTube with the name of PTV World and then World This Morning. And the repeat of this show you can catch at 11 p.m. tonight. Heading out to a short break. Stay tuned, because, well, the Corona dance awaits you. Good morning. All right, so we're back after the very short break that we promised, ladies and gentlemen. Very quickly, right on to Mr. Asfandyar Khattak over here, who's going to perform an amalgamation of Khattak and Kathak dance for us, and he's naming it the Corona dance. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's dance away through COVID-19. Asfandyar, take the lead.